Hello and good day to you, my beautiful friends. I do hope you are well. Welcome to episode 86 of Cross Button VR, our journey into the world of VR. I'm your host, Laurie, and it is an honor to be joined by two of the most bonny influencers in the metaverse. It's Alex and Reece.
Hello.
Hello there.
It's a
Hello.
lovely wee Scottish word.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what it is?
Bonny.
A Scottish word, is it? What does it mean?
Pretty, handsome.
Oh, is it really?
Cute.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, see. I wouldn't
Learn
insult
something
you.
new.
Secret Scottish words.
A bonny wee lass.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay. I was going to ask how you use it in
Um,
a sentence, and now we know.
Yeah. Are you both well?
Yeah. I've had a
Good,
nice
good.
few days away, all refreshed.
Yeah.
Yes.
I saw you sitting in your hot tub.
Last few days away, still commenting on stuff and using Twitter, wasn't you?
Aye, but I mean, I was away
Were
from actual
you-
work, so
Were you sat in your hot tub wearing a Quest? I'd like to imagine that you would.
I was very tempted, but no, I didn't at any point actually do that.
Okay.
I did have it with
Scared.
me, but I didn't make it into the hot tub because there was a TV at the hot tub, and that was enough for me.
You could sit in the hot tub and play like Kayak VR and just be like splashing for real. That'd be
mate.
fun.
Yeah. Next
Immersion.
That's a
That's what we're here for.
genius.
time.
Well,
Next
let's
time.
immerse ourselves in this week in VR. Before we do, though, if people would like to support us, they can give the podcast a sub on the service they're using. And if you're watching on YouTube, please do remember to hit like and subscribe and leave us a comment whilst you're there. You can follow us on Twitter at CrossButtonVR and also Blue Sky, which is where everyone seems to be jumping ship in the life over to the safety of Blue Sky. What are we on Blue Sky? Is it the same? Are we just cross button VR?
Yes, but basically, if you want to find us, just search for Cross Button VR almost everywhere, and you will find us. I think. I don't think I
TikTok.
missed many.
TikTok, Instagram, MySpace, Threads, yeah.
Facebook group.
Facebook group. We've got a Facebook
Yeah,
group.
Wait,
we've got
what? We
Facebook
have
group.
Have we?
And none
Hello,
of us
everyone
do
on
that.
Facebook.
Oh, yes, we have a
Hello.
Facebook group. Everyone, go join it.
Yeah.
Who
Discord as well.
manages this?
Me?
Got a Facebook group.
So part of that.
Wow. For all our boomer audience that want to reach out to us on there. Cool.
So, can I just ask, is anyone in it currently, other than you?
Yes. There's a lot of people in this Facebook group, but I'll tell you about that later.
Okay, cool.
Oh, wow. I know what I'm doing tonight. Deleting
Join in the
Facebook.
group.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. Well, let's jump into the news this week. And I want to just highlight the first story that I saw that caught my eye, based on a Reddit post, thanks to the game's developers. And this was the news that Max Mustard has sold better on PSVR2 in its first few weeks on the market than it did on Quest. So it's selling faster on PSVR2 than Quest. They put out a kind of a blog post on Reddit, just really thanking PlayStation players for the sort of huge support that they're giving. And it's just, yeah, it was just nice to see for once the story of developers actually really achieving some good success on PSVR2. And the hype for Max Mustard was real. We were banging our drum about it for many, many weeks. So it's fantastic to see that it's been responded to by people picking up.
I thought you were just going to say more there. Sorry.
Yeah. Clearly you
He
did.
sounded like he was ready to go on and say a lot more. Yeah, no, I'm really happy to hear it. Obviously, there's a lot of factors that bear into this. You know, that I think that's huge success that he had, or is still having. I mean, the rate that he was going with the 5 stars, with every rating being 5 stars for a while, I think he's now dropped down to like 4.8, which again is still really good for people that rate games, because you always get that one person's like, nah, I didn't like this, it's 1 star. But no, it seems to be going really strong. You could argue that it kind of, you know, rode on the coattails of Astro not being there, but at the same point, they filled a void that people wanted clearly. And if Astro don't look at this and go, or Asobi, Astro doesn't exist to look at things. Asobi, they don't look at this and go, oh, do you know what? We made a huge. Yeah, Astro's not real. Sorry. But yeah, it's like if they don't look at this and go, we made a huge mistake, then I don't know, you know, what they're thinking.
It's coming next year. It's coming. We've got.
Well, if not, I mean, I just want Toast Interactive to make more Max Masters. It's like we said before. I want more.
Well, I'm sure they will. Yeah,
richer story, everything like that. Yeah. So
yeah, I mean, well, segue a little bit onto Astro Bot. They've got the new speedrun levels that are coming out. They're releasing like one a week for the next few months, so that will keep people busy playing Astro Bot for the rest of the year.
Yes, I'm going to play
I
that.
think in the new year we'll hear about the port coming to PSVR2.
You hope so. But
just rescue mission. Anyway, before then, Max Mustard. They also in the blog post kind of secretly give an indication of PSVR2 sales, saying that with approximately 2 million units shipped, so it says it's 10% that of Quest. So, I mean, I have no idea what Quest has sold, but presumably if that means that Quest has sold around, 20 million, I could do the maths, yeah. But I don't know if that's true or not, but I'm just saying, like, if that would imply that 20 million Quests have been sold, which probably sounds about right.
Yeah, it sounds good enough to me.
2 million, I think, that's the first update we've had on sales figures since May last year when it was 600,000. So kind of 2 million is more than I thought.
Yeah.
I mean, that's good for the PSVR2, but then whether all of them are being used on PS5, you can't now determine that anymore, can you? Because some people now bought it just to use on PC, so you've got that factor as well to bear in mind. But either way, still nice to see that many headsets sold.
And it's a similar story to what James from Incisive said, is because he said basically like the attach rate on PlayStation is very high. Like, so, and it's not that we're starved for games. They're not starved for games, but they're just far more receptive to games. And it's easier to discover games in PlayStation than it is to discover them in Quest in a certain way as well. Like the Quest store now is incredibly difficult to find anything. Like if you don't know what you're looking for in the Quest store, then some things are shown to you, but you're taken straight to Horizon Worlds and stuff within the app now, rather than trying to even find the store is difficult.
So you can't find it, and to be sent a link of a game that you want to play now than it is to kind of search for the game.
That is mad. Because we know from devs that discoverability is like their biggest challenge. So that is a shame, because Quest is where the players are. If they can't find the audience, though, or if the audience can't find them, that is a problem.
Yeah, but even to that point, discoverability is not great on PlayStation. We've talked about that before. Like it isn't, but it's better. And you just have such a dedicated PSVR2 community. So players playing PSVR2 buy the games and they play the games, and it's probably the way. It's more of a lucrative market, even with a lower base headset count, because of the attach rate. But it's certainly what it feels like.
Yeah, and I put out a tweet yesterday just saying the PSVR2 truly is the new Vita, and it got loads of comments, and it went mad as mad as things go on Twitter these days. But yeah, is it the new Vita?
I've got my Vita over there as well. Like it kind of is, because I mean the Vita was that premium. The Vita was ahead of its time, and Sony didn't really know what to do with it, and PSVR2. It's not ahead of its time, but it's like, in terms of the technology in it, it's not what Sony are good at. Or not good at, that's unfair, but it's not their core. Like, that's not their bread and butter, and they don't know how to go in. It's not they don't want, I don't think it's that they don't want to make games for it, but they don't know what to make. It's maybe my opinion. I don't think they know what's the best thing to make, and there's people out there that do. And we're getting the games from the people that do, and you've got good games on it, and you've good support for it. And I completely understand where you're coming from there, Laurie.
So this Vita came out 13 years ago.
It's mad.
13 years up, but if you hold it, it still feels like a brand new. It feels, and like if you play games on it, they look fantastic still. Like if you play Killzone Mercenaries on it, it looks as good as any Switch game that is still coming out now. And it's just like it was so future. And it brings you back to what Miles said about the PSVR2. This is going to have a huge lifespan, because like it can just be used on PS6. I'm sure they'll do new versions which will have better lenses and stuff, and maybe a better pass through. But I'm sure you'll still be able to play games on this headset on the PS6 and it'll look even better because the processing's being done off the headset. So I think it will be around for a while, and I think it's a similar sort of thing, as you said, Alex, of Sony. Their R&D team, the tech team, the hardware team just making something, and then the Sony Computer Entertainment software team just like, we just don't have the resources to port this and this and this. But the indie devs, people buy it and they love it because they recognize it's really good hardware. And even if it doesn't set the world on fire, the people that buy it love it. And for developers, they always said that with the Vita, that it's the player base are really engaged. And I remember at the time, even though they didn't sell much, every time they're saying, "Oh, we'll bring our indies over to Vita because people buy it over there," and it's a easy enough port. And hopefully we're seeing the same thing now with Quest is where the main market is, but we'll bring the games over to PSVR2 because people will buy them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think when you look at that Vita, like those original ones with the OLED screens, and like I've got one of the OLED screen ones, it's just so pretty. I like to have an OLED screen or something. So, I can't remember at what stage they stopped putting the OLED screens in them, but
you can tell by the shape of it. I can show you if you send me a picture of it. I'll tell you what it is.
He's right into his VR. You send me a picture of VR, I'll tell you exactly what model number that is.
If it's got a flat front, it's the OLED, but if it's got rounded edges to the front of it, it's the non-OLED.
I'll just send you a picture.
He's one of the ones that I've got SIM cards and everything in mine. Like,
I know. So it's got a little Vodafone SIM card in it. It's so old school. It's like, what the fuck is that doing there? But that's never did it. But I think it is, and it probably doesn't bode well for the PSVR, to be honest, given that what happened with the Vita, it just kind of quietly fizzled out. But I mean, I was playing it for years and years because the games kept coming on it, and there was just such an endless array of indies to play on it. And I do think that is what the PSVR2 will be like. You're going to get very few and far exactly the same. The Vita came out, and you got an Uncharted game. You got all these. You got a Killzone game.
That Uncharted game was great.
Yeah, man. It's and it's locked to that. They should do a remake of that for to put it out on PS5. That'd be cool. But yeah, it had some AAA handheld games, and they were amazing. But then Sony were like, "No one's buying these. We can't keep making them." And then the ecosystem, the whole platform was just propped up by indies. And I think that is probably what we're looking at on PSVR2. Sadly, but
when you think back to the innovation of things like Tearaway on that system was amazing. Like the back and the front, it was like, it's so good.
And then they ported it over to the PS4. You're like, this just doesn't feel the same. Like it just didn't have that same effect, did it? Nah. Although I will say Gravity Rush was one that I ended up playing more on the PlayStation 4 than I did on the Vita. Even though I enjoyed it on the Vita, I finished it on the PS4. That was a great game. But yeah, Killzone Mercenaries, mate. When I got the Vita, I was playing it online for a good few weeks as well.
Online, wow.
Yeah,
imagine
there's still people playing it.
Imagine if there was an Astro Bot on the Vita.
I mean,
you had Sackboy at the time, didn't you?
It's kind of what Tearaway is.
Yeah.
The Little Big Planet game on Vita worked really well. The way we like the backpad kind of like to do all the different puzzles. I thought that was really well done.
That was the only place I've ever played Metal Gear Solid 3 was on my Vita. There's so many games that I bought for it just because they were like, it's better to play like PS3 games or old retro games. Yeah. It was fantastic for playing old legacy content as well.
I just genuinely used it to play the HD trilogies of Jak and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank, and Sly Raccoon. Yeah. That was pretty much all I did on it.
Remote play for the PS3.
Wow. Yeah. God, yeah, I did that one.
I remember trying that and it did not work well for like two different rooms. It just wasn't that great.
It was no Portal, was it? But
no.
I mean, I couldn't get that thing to work either.
Wow. Oh, I could spend the entire podcast this week talking about how bloody good
Vita podcast. Let's talk about the Vita for the whole episode. Like,
yeah. Well, you get enough people writing stuff about like the Dreamcast and stuff, so why not? That's enough. Bring it back. Bring back the Vita.
My Vita sign. Do you want to read my Vita sign?
Vita here. Oh, it could be Vita.
Vita sign.
I don't, and like people keep asking or not asking, begging Sony to make another handheld. I can't see it, to be honest.
It's not going to happen.
Like, they've got the Portal. That is the handheld. Yeah, we should see if Microsoft do one, and like it's not going to be like a handheld. It'll be a Steam Deck basically, won't it? And it's going to be it's at the point now where they're not really handhelds. They're massive. Like Steam Deck's huge, and it's not really a handheld in the conventional sense, but it is a more kind of laptop-based PC.
Yeah. So I got upset with the Vita when they pulled the plug on the store. They stopped updating the store on it, and that's where it kind of was like, oh, mate, you've ruined it.
Can you still download stuff on it?
I think you still download stuff from the store, but they've not. No, there's no new games on the store. Nothing new getting added or anything like that. I think you still download stuff.
You can still download stuff.
Yeah.
Wow.
Same as the PS3, they did a similar thing where you have to kind of do a different link to your account. and then you get a number or something like that. It's really weird how it's done.
You used to get a PlayStation Plus game every month for the Vita as well, and
Yeah.
I got a lot of Vita trophies. I tell you, I used to use that thing as a platinum machine. It was great. You'd buy a game on there, and then you'd get it on your PS3 and your Vita, and I'd just go around and do all 3 versions of it. It was brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Oh yeah.
And no one would care about this but me, but I was really happy with that thing.
This is like bringing back so many good times. There's just so much good stuff I played on it. It's probably like behind the Switch. It's one of my favorite like handheld things I've ever owned too. So I'm so glad, and it was so weird, but because it was such a fake like it's commercially, it was just and like no, everyone thought, oh yeah, it'd be a complete waste of time. But if you own one, you just realise there was so much good stuff to play on it. And I think that's just to bring it back to the point of this podcast. I think that is exactly like the PSVR2. People say there's no games on it, and we're like, what the fuck are you talking about? There's endless games that come out every week. They're really good, but you need to just be interested in trying something you've never heard of.
Yeah, it's when you own one you really see the value of the product itself. That's really
So yeah, long live the Vita, PS Vita,
Viva la Vita.
So good, and also congratulations, Max Mustard, because that's great to see. That
take it back to that.
Yeah, back to the fighter.
Hey, Max Mustard! Woo!
Well, that could be the topic this week. We're just going to talk about how much we love the Vita. We'll just rename the pod for 1 week.
Cross button Vita.
Cross button Vita, yeah. Why not? Why not?
CV Vita R.
It's got a cross button on it.
Vita. Yeah.
Vita. Nice. Okay, let's move on. Phasmophobia has been dated, and thank God it's coming in time for Halloween, because otherwise they would have had to delay it for another year. Cutting it pretty close, though. It's a shame, because October is the spooky season. It's coming on 29th of October.
I think that's a good date. I know some people. I know some people online. I've seen it on Twitter as well. Some people be going, "Oh, I wish it was a little bit sooner, so it gave us a bit more time with it before Halloween." But obviously, if you want a Halloween release, you want to go as close to Halloween as you possibly can. So I think 29th is a nice date. It gives you a few days before the actual spooky day itself. But
you'll get a lot of people streaming it on the 29th and the 30th and the 31st, and then people
are like, game.
It's kind of like a party game sort of thing, isn't it? It's a real have fun with your mates. So there'll be a lot
laugh at your friends when they're really bad at it.
There probably servers will collapse on Halloween itself, so they'll be trying to play it and they'll be like, oh.
Could you imagine?
Yeah. And it made me chuckle that they've kind of said it's coming out in early access, because that probably tells me that it's probably not quite ready, but they don't want to miss Halloween, so it's like, we'll say early access, and then people will forgive us if it breaks. Or you're a bit more forgiving if you know a game's early access. Because you could think, I'll wait till it gets its full release, but I do want to play it for Halloween, so I don't care that it's early access. I'll get it.
Yeah,
and it is hybrid. That's right, isn't it? Because it's coming to like Xbox and PlayStation.
Yeah, it's a hybrid game.
Because it was featured on the Xbox Partner Showcase.
It was,
wasn't it? Yeah. Look at that. Xbox and PSVR. So you could play on your Xbox. You and all your Alex and all his other Xbox friends, and then we'll play it on PSVR. Did it come to Quest as well?
Don't think so.
No, I don't think so. Not to my
PCVR.
knowledge.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Cool. I mean, it's already on PCVR.
Okay. Well, so we'll probably be talking about that one next week. Then we'll probably do a little Halloween themed episode next week.
Reece is going to dress up.
Reece is going to dress up.
Am I?
Yes.
Even own a Halloween costume.
What are you wearing then?
My name's Alex, I'm funny. I'm also Scottish.
I don't talk like that.
I wasn't going to try to do a Scottish accent and absolutely butcher it, was I? I was doing Essex Alex instead.
That was Essex. Nobody from Essex never spoken like that.
No,
right, let's move on before it descends into any more fisticuffs. Starship Troppers Coninuum. You'll all be devastated now. It's been delayed until November.
Shock horror.
Yeah, I can't believe that game that we saw isn't ready.
I mean, can we state something here? It has been delayed, but by like 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
What are you going what are you going to achieve in 2 to 3 weeks?
Well, I'll tell you, it's going to be they're going to achieve some extra playtesting, polish, and fixes to ensure the best experience on Meta Quest and PlayStation VR2. So yeah, I mean, got to get those bugs right.
Oh, he's good, isn't he? He's good.
Squashed it.
So you do it.
Yeah.
So you do it,
Just
Alex.
can't help himself.
So yes, that's what's happening. So yeah, we don't. Do we have a new name? It's coming out now on November the 14th for Quest and November the 25th for PSVR2.
Yeah. So essentially like the same schedule, like a month back.
Yeah.
For the
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Hopefully, it's. I laugh at it, but I don't want them to release a bad broken game because that'd be even worse. At least I just hope at least it runs well because it's no good for anyone if VR games come out and they just run like shit. So yeah, delay it because it's terrible for VR. People, especially if it's these kind of high-profile IPs that, well, not that such stupid as a high-profile IP, but these known things that people might pay some attention to, and if they come out and they're rubbish, then people just think, oh, all of VR is rubbish, waste of time. And we wouldn't want that.
Nope.
Nah, mate.
Another game that's been delayed for quietly more comical reasons is Dig VR. Dig VR, this is a funny one that it's just like got quite a lot of hype over it, and you're just basically just playing on diggers. That's why it's just you can just dig a land the game. That's from what I can see. But I mean, people love diggers, so I can see why people are excited about it. It's a bit like that pressure washer game. I think it's probably that same thing that
Power Simulator.
Yeah, that's the one. People are like, it's just, if there was like a train simulator, train VR, people like diggers, so I can see why people are excited for it. But it's been moved back a few weeks, and the developers put out a big statement. And why was it, Alex? Why was it delayed?
Batman made them do it.
Batman made me do it.
That's essentially what it said. It said Batman made. It either said it was
something like
because
that,
of Batman or Batman made me do it. It was so yes.
And
it was supposed to come out the same week as Arkham Shadow, but they've decided just to give the Bat a little bit of space because I don't think many things are going to get much attention over the next couple of weeks on Quest other than Batman.
Yeah, I mean that's a fair assumption.
It's a smart move. You get out of the way. It's the same way that everyone else gets out of the way of Call of Duty. Just because that's the game everyone's buying that week. You're going to get lost, especially if discoverability is that bad on the store. I guess the store presumably is.
You search Batman, you find it.
Batman. But you're not going to search for it. Is my point. You'll land on the store and there'll just be Batman.
Yeah, it'll be on the front page eventually.
But if they give it a few weeks, then Dig VR might have a chance at that slot.
But it was quite humorous because then they end up doing that trailer where it's like Dig VR, and it was like all in the theme of Batman. You had the light in the sky, but with the digger sign instead. So they really played on this whole thing. And then Ryan from Camouflage even retweeted it and said like a whole thing. We was hoping we could have had like a Battenheimer type of thing, whereas like Batman and Dig VR combined on the same week. So even he retweeted it and made a big laugh of it. So it was nice to see. I think the whole kind of grand scheme of the decision, it just turned into a really good, funny situation, which is always nice to see. Good job, their PR team. Yeah.
And hopefully we'll have Just Add Water, the developers, on the show in a couple of weeks to talk to us all about Dig VR. So more on that in the next couple of weeks to find out.
Well, we can dig deep and find out what they've been up to.
You've been holding on to that one, haven't you?
Maybe. Reece, next up, we've got a new game called DodgeCraft. Tell me more about DodgeCraft, Reece.
DodgeCraft is made by our good friends over at Incisive, the developers of Clean Sheet, who you may have remembered James on the show. I mean, Alex just mentioned him a few minutes ago. DodgeCraft is their new game. So obviously with Clean Sheet, that was designed to train goalkeepers with their skills of catching, intercepting, whereas DodgeCraft is designed to train tackling and invasion skills. They shared like a little clip on their TikTok. It kind of again blurs the line of what is a game and fitness, and I think just by the little clip they've shown, they've done a really good job at it with blurring that line. So he said that James has told me there's going to be 2 game modes. They're working titles at the moment, so obviously the titles may change. You've got Run the Gauntlet, which is robot designed to evade you by anticipating your direction and moving the other way. They're going to add motion capture of rugby players who will do side steps to try to deceive you. You can shove them off the platform you're standing on or destroy them with weapons. And then you have another mode called Dodge 'em, where you're on an asteroid belt. You have to dodge the asteroids coming towards you, and you have 10 lives. And they're also going to be implementing mixed reality into that mode as well. So, yeah, from the little clip they shared, it looks quite fun. It looks like it's going to really get you moving, get your heart pumping. So, good on them. I mean, I absolutely loved Clean Sheet. You spoke very highly about it here before, so it's nice to see them working on another game that also has that kind of similar formula.
Mm-hmm.
So
Very cool.
I believe they're hoping to share more. I believe they're hoping to bring it out next month at some point. It'll be on Quest first. And then obviously, as usual with a lot of development, they'll see how it does there, see if there's much want for it on other platforms, and then decide from there the whole the usual development cycle these days for VR games, it seems, when it's a smaller developer. But I wish Incisive all the best, 100%. And I look forward to checking it out myself.
Very cool. Very cool. Okay. Well, that's probably all of the news this week. Quite a week this week. But let's jump into what we've been playing. And we have all been playing a game that we can sit down now and give a proper review to, which is quite rare that we actually all play the same thing and can have a good old chunky meaty discussion about something. And then you guys have finished it as well, which is even more impressive.
We did.
We are, of course, talking about the Arizona Sunshine Remake. Alex, would you like to explain to everyone what the Arizona Sunshine... Oh, was it the Alexona? The Alexona
That's
Sunshine
a whole
Remake.
different game, yeah.
Yeah.
So Arizona Sunshine Remake, it's a remake of a PSVR1 game, which was Arizona Sunshine. You might know Arizona Sunshine 2, which released this year? I don't know, but year we're in anymore. Last year. So it's essentially taking the Arizona Sunshine game and bringing it up to par with Arizona Sunshine 2. I think that's probably the fairest. And bundling it in a package which comes with all the DLC and everything that released from Arizona Sunshine, 10 years ago, if I'm not...
2016 it released, 8 years ago.
8 years ago.
Oh,
wow.
So,
yeah, it's an arcade shooter, zombie shooter of you trying to escape the zombies, basically, and seeking what Arizona Sunshine or Radio Arizona Sunshine Arizona Radio or something.
The whole story is you hear a radio signal and it's the military, so you're kind of just trying to follow this military along. It leads to different locations, and then there is a huge ending which we're not going to spoil because you'll see that eventually on the channel when we share the rest of the playthrough.
So we've had a lot of fun with that. Reece and I have co-opted the whole of the main campaign so far. We are going to do the same with the DLC, and that's releasing every few days on the channel, so you can keep your eyes out for that coming. The first part is out now. Well, first.
And so did you play it on the PSVR2 or Quest?
PSVR2.
PSVR2 as well.
I have tried the PC VR version as well. So, I will say I prefer the PC VR versions. It looks a little bit better. I say it looks a little bit better. It runs a little bit better. So the frame rates, and obviously with your build or whatever you've got on your PC, it can run a little bit better. But I think the PSVR2 version looks better in the minds. So yeah, there's that.
It does look good in the minds. So I my home screen is telling me I'm 55% of the way through it, which I pretty much did in one sitting. So it only takes about 3 or 4 hours to play through. Right, it's quite a short game, which I didn't finish Arizona Sunshine 2. There was just too much other stuff coming out, and that is more like a 8 to 10 hour experience, I think. And it's now that it's remake, it plays and pretty much looks exactly the same as Arizona Sunshine 2. So you could, I'm surprised if they're not selling one already. They probably will sell it as a double pack that just gives you both games and all the DLC, because the horde modes are the same, aren't they, for both games? So you could just have, like, here's your first campaign, here's your second campaign, here's the DLC, and here's the multiplayer horde stuff. But yeah, I think I do prefer this, though, to Arizona Sunshine 2, weirdly, just because the levels, I don't know if it's because 8 years ago they were harder to do bigger levels, but in the sequel, the levels are much more open, they're much bigger, and they're kind of more impressive in a way. But I think I prefer just the tighter level design. It's quite impressive how you might be in quite a small environment, but the route you have to take through it is really well done. It's like really good level design, and you kind of unwind. You spend, each level takes about sort of 30 to 40 minutes to do, You could probably run through it really quickly, but it takes me about 30 to 40 minutes to do. And they're not that
Definitely
big an area.
less.
Well, yeah.
Don't listen to Laurie. It's definitely less. We didn't take that long.
Maybe it was a bit easier for the two of us.
Yeah, I think you should play, because if you are playing it, when I'm playing it, I was thinking, this would be so different playing with friends, because I'm like, okay, I need to look at that side, and then I need to sort of keep turning around to make sure nothing's coming behind me. And yeah, exploring every areas. If you're going through all the cupboards and stuff and opening all the drawers yourself, it obviously takes twice as long as the two of you doing that.
Yeah, I think it's like 20 minutes. I think each chapter. But I really wish they made it so the co-op isn't just 2-player for the story, because I think the more players, just the funnier it would be. Because we were absolutely howling at times with this multiplayer. It was just too funny at times.
The sausage, I've never seen sausage physics like it in my life. Like the wiggle when you catch that sausage is so impressive. So impressive. It just goes.
I'm halfway through the campaign now. Could you join my campaign midway through, or do we have to start a new one from scratch and play together?
I'm gonna say I'm not too sure, only because I had an issue. No, it's only because on PC when I joined somebody's campaign, it kept crashing for me, and then
we tried, though, isn't it?
Yeah, we tried it restarting it. So, but again, as with me and Alex playing the PSVR2 version, and the same when I was playing the PCVR version, it was pre-release. So this does depend whether they've done a patch to fix anything like that. So there's a lot of things that I'm not really too sure. I remember on the PSVR1 version, it was drop in, drop out. So I'm assuming that's how it's meant to be. But obviously, you know, maybe there is some little bugs. But yeah, if it works, we should be able to just join you and then just carry on playing.
Yeah, I would definitely like to do some of the campaign with a friend.
Yeah.
And not be on my own.
One of us will come and play with you, Lord.
Yeah.
Nice. But it's even on your own though, it's such a fun game. It's so good, and the accessibility stuff, I can see why they wanted to remake it, just to put in all of the accessibility, so you can sort of toggle grip, so you just stuff like that, and also like if you drop a gun, it just automatically returns to your holster.
Yeah.
Simple reload. You could bet I've got that on. Because if you're playing on your own, and there's a bit where like there's the hordes that come at you, and there's like 20, 30 zombies. I couldn't do it if I was having to reload manually, because I've got a gun in each hand, and I'm just like popping the button to pop the clips out and just instantly reloading it. I wouldn't be able to do this with I'd have to put a gun away, so I've got the spare hand to faff around with the clip and stuff, and that it would take too long with this much going on. So yeah, I think if you're in 2-player, then maybe it's not such a it's not so frantic like that. But yeah,
it still did get frantic at points. I would say there was still.
Reece was like, no, it didn't.
well, it was either it's still if one of you dies.
I'd say the laser level. It was the military base. I'm not going to say what happens at the end, but there was a certain level which.
Yeah, the spoilers.
Well, it's one of them things where I feel like a lot of people have played this, a lot of people have upgraded. So I know Alex hadn't played it, and I was at first few levels, he was like, spoiler. I was like, you haven't played this, have you?
He just kept telling me everything that was going to happen. I'm like, shut up, stop it.
But there was certain levels where we were both like, oh my god, this is insane, with like the amount of zombies that were there.
Because you played the original, right, Reece?
Yeah, I played the original, and I think the first thing we did when we loaded up, and again, we had been told pre-release that there are some graphical issues that we're trying to fix, which later did get fixed, and I went back in afterwards. But even with them graphical issues, I was still blown away with how good it looked. And then when they did the recent patch before it released, because they dropped another update, and I went back into it, and I was like, this just looks crazy good. Like, this is insane, and it looks exactly like Arizona Sunshine 2. Sorry.
Yeah.
But we were just the whole time we're going through, we're going, oh, that looks really good. Like this scenery just looks really nice. And I don't think it ever looked bad on PS1. I don't remember saying this game looks bad or this. And I think the last time I played it was probably about 2 years ago, and it was a game I used to play a lot. Like, I would go in, a friend used to always want to play it, and it was the only game we would play. So I've had a lot of good times with this game, a lot of good memories. And I'm just really happy they brought it across. Obviously, I mean, there has been some people raving online because there is some things they've not utilised from the PSVR2. There isn't dynamic foveated rendering. It does seem it's running at 90 reprojected. I'm going to say that's what it feels like anyway. But even then, with all that, it still feels good. It still plays good, and it still looks good. And this comes back to my argument I've said before that, yes, dynamic foveated rendering is amazing, but does it need to be there every time to make a game successful or fun to play? And I think this is a clear, proven point that it doesn't need to be there at all times to make a game fun. I mean, I knew the minute that Alex enjoyed this game literally at the end when he turned around and looked at me and just went, "Can we play the second one?" Like that's not usually something you get from Alex when you're playing a shooting game, and I was like, "Oh damn, he wants to play the second one." That right there is I think it's one of the highest ratings a game can get. Especially Alex, because he doesn't do shooters, and he was loving this all the way through. Like I remember, we came off it one evening. He was like, "Oh, do you want to play some more Arizona tomorrow?" I'm like, "Hey, this game's locked him in. This has got him." And I think that as well, just on its own, was just really awesome to see. And him seeing some of the certain moments, after the first 2 levels, after I stopped spoiling stuff, and he was like, "Oh, this looks awesome." I'm like, "Yeah." And there's certain things that I don't remember being there as well that kind of seemed like they were added later to link the two. Because Alex mentioned something, and I was like, "What? I don't remember that being there in the original." Yeah. And I don't want to say it because obviously it's going to link it for you if you notice it. And I was like, "I don't remember that being there. That's not something I remember before." And Alex brought me over. I was like, "No way." And it was just, I feel like they've went back and changed stuff. I mean, the only way I'm really going to confirm that is if I go back to the PSVR1 version and play through the whole game again. I don't really fancy doing that, but it was just a really fun time all the way through. And it's something I would play again. I'd play the Horde mode again. And yeah, it's still got that same effect on me.
I think I'm with Alex in that I don't really like shooters normally, but I love this. And I think I like it more than the second one as well, just because it is that much more focused. The levels are so moorishly, I'll just do one more. I'll just do one more. I keep thinking, I'm just going to finish this one and then I'm going to turn it off, or I'm going to skip and go.
That was literally what we were like on the playthrough. It's like, Alex, do I do one more? He's like, "Yeah, we'll do another one." He's like, "I've got to come off after that one." I think I've got time for one more. And it was literally that, and then I think we had recorded 5 parts. So I was like, "Okay, now we definitely got to come off. It's got to 11 o'clock at night. We need to go."
And this game, it does a great. It's so classic zombie thing. It's just like The Walking Dead, where you know as soon as you pick something up, or as soon as you put that switch, or you turn those lights on, all hell's going to break loose. And every time it does
go wrong,
it's just like, look, it's too quiet. And especially because they give you loads of ammo beforehand. You're like, "Oh, hello, something's about to hit the fan." And it's always classic, so tropey, but it's brilliantly done. It's like, I'm in this completely pitch black abandoned mine. I've just got to start this really noisy generator to stick something on, and then all of a sudden, all these zombies are coming out of the walls and stuff, and it's just
I busy my typical, just like, "Mate, we need to do this first," and I just go and breeze straight through, like, "Oh no, I'm over here now, there's things coming to try and kill me." Like, come on, you're too late.
We're still we're not supposed to do that bit yet. No.
It's fine. I've just been straight in here.
It was I remember doing the mines again when I was playing on PC VR. I joined up with Scorpio to play it for a little bit and joined in with him just to he was doing his video, so I joined in to help him. And we got back into the mine bit, and I was like, picked up the Molotov, and I was like, "Do I have to light this with a lighter?" And he's like, "No, I'm pretty sure you can just press a button." And I was like, "Press a button? Where's the fun in that? I don't want to press a button to light a Molotov. That sounds stupid." And literally, I went back to the cabin, picked up a lighter, and stood there the whole time until the zombies started, and then lit it with a lighter. And I was like, "She works." It was still on those VR moments, and I was like, "This works." And he was setting up traps. He was throwing down the containers. Nice. I was like, "We didn't do it this way. When me and Alex played for it, we didn't do this because we completely disregarded that there was containers here that would blow up. We set up all these traps, and I'm just throwing Molotovs." I was like, "This is when you go, oh, I wonder if that will work," and then you try it, and then it hits, and you go, "It actually works." And then that's when this game just goes, "It's awesome." And yeah, it was just one of the moments for me. I was like, "It works. It's on fire." Really good, really good.
And just finding the hats and the masks and putting them all on and stuff was
we need to go back through for those as well.
It's probably not, and that's probably one of the things you'd appreciate more of doing co-op, Laurie. It's when you put the silly mask on and then turn it into each other, then you're like, "Oh my god, that's just ridiculous."
Yeah, because I see the mask go for it, and I'm just like, I pick one up, and I was like, I can't be bothered to keep picking other stuff up. I can't see it. It doesn't seem to collect or do anything. It doesn't tick them off. I presume you get a trophy for picking them all up, put them all on?
No, picking up all the ducks, I believe you get a trophy for. I think there's 4 ducks. There was 4 ducks in the original, and
I got a trophy for throwing a duck the other day.
Yeah, there was also a trophy in the original for killing a zombie with a duck, or maybe that was on the PC version. There was one for killing a zombie with a duck. I don't think that's in it anymore because I sat there the other day trying to throw a duck at a zombie. I was like, this isn't doing anything. But no, I think one of the other funny things that we kept really laughing at was just feeding each other. Like, they'll be hit and he'll be shooting all the zombies like, here you go, Alex, eat a sausage, mate. You know, it was the funniest thing ever.
Force the sausage in my mouth.
It's like, here's a bit of pizza. I've taken 2 bites. Going, you take the last one. It's just trying to manage food for your health going through the whole game. And it was just too funny.
Got to the stage I gave him a restraining order.
Did he actually?
Just worried about your health, man.
Yeah.
He's played online shooters with you before. He knows you need them.
You get with that time me and you played Crossfire, and I'm just like, wee.
Yeah. God, that one time, never again.
Yes.
Also in this game, shout out for the sniper rifle, which has got the best scope zoom effects of any VR game that I've played. I was like, that was so cool when you don't have to put your face to it. You can just see it as you're kind of holding the thing up. You can see the magnifier coming through. You just put your head out to it. Because there's other games like also Resident Evil 4. There's a rifle on that with a scope in it, and it doesn't work. It's nowhere near as satisfying to use.
No, I think that Crossfire scope was okay to use, although you had to kind of press the button and aim it in, but it worked. It wasn't immersive, but it worked.
Well, I'll tell you what, there's a feature for 1 week. Is VR's best sniper rifle scopes. We'll do a whole special on that.
Crikey.
You'd get numbers, you'd get views with that. You put out a video.
Do this video, top 10 VR snipers.
Yeah, people love that, especially like if you could do like some videos with a headshot blowing up. But yeah, in Arizona Sunshine, back to Arizona Sunshine, when you find the sniper rifle for the first time and there's loads of zombies milling around and you can just pick them all off, and it's very, very satisfying. Very, very good bit to do.
It certainly is.
Feel very badass. So, I mean, yeah, it's £25. I'm sure to probably be on sale at some point, but at £25, I think that's pretty good value. It's about 3 or 4 hour campaign. You get the DLC, you've got the horde modes as well. You can play it again in co-op, I suppose, if you want to add some longevity to it. If you've already played the original, if you own the original PSVR, it only costs £10 to upgrade, which seemed like a no-brainer.
It was $10, wasn't it?
$10, okay.
$7.99, I think it is.
Even better.
Yeah. But no, I think you're right. Something along the lines of, like, I think it's 3 hours main campaign. The first DLC is about an hour, and the second one can go to about an hour to 2 hours. So it's like you're getting a decent length for the price, I think, still.
25
and then the horde
for 5
mode
hours.
As well.
Yeah,
horde
5 hours of
really
content.
Good.
But yeah, it's a very good. I'd probably say it's easy to say it's my favourite shooter that I've played on the headset.
That's
which
fair.
Doesn't like. I'm not the best judge of this, but the stuff that I've played, I think it's so polished. It's a really good VR experience. It's so much fun.
Yeah, I think as far as zombie shooters zombie shooters goes, I think this has always been one of the ones that's been at the top. And I think when Arizona Sunshine 2 came out, yes, I think I was in the same boat as you where I enjoyed it, but I was like, it's just kind of not hitting me the same way. And I am definitely going to go back to it. And I'm hoping Alex picks it up and we eventually tackle for it on co-op. Because I did try it co-op before, but I had a lot of issues. So, yeah.
I think the second one would be better in co-op for sure, because those bigger spaces would be filled with the two of you. You could split up and take one side of the room each.
You still only get one dog though if you go through 2.
Yeah. It's funny because, like, I don't know how they do it, because in the story in the second one, he goes on about when he finds a dog, he's like, oh, I haven't spoken to anyone in weeks. It's like, well, hello, what about me, your co-op friend that you're playing this game with? You just think, like, hi. And he's like, I haven't spoken to a human in years. It's like,
which is
mate.
one half of the same person.
Yeah, exactly. It's almost like schizophrenia, and I think in the sense of how the co-op's done. He's just there.
Oh, really?
With his imagination, killing zombies with you.
Fair enough. Cool. Well, that's Arizona Sunshine. I think it's fair to say it gets the cross-button VR stamp of approval.
Definitely.
So yeah. Cool. And worth saying, just on the kind of comfort settings, it works. You can play it sitting as well. It plays well sitting. You can play it standing. All of the picking stuff up is just nice and easy to do. It doesn't feel janky at all. So, yeah, stamp of approval for that one.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Cool.
Highly regarded.
Well, we can wrap things up there. Has anyone's got any other things they've been playing that they want to quickly mention? Just more Resident Evil 4 for me, so I don't need to keep going on about that every week.
I mean, I have played one game. I'm not going to say the game because, yeah, it's an upcoming game that's coming out soon-ish. Next month, isn't it now? Next month? November, it's coming out. And I played the demo, and I've had a great time with it. And I think, it has spiders. That might give some people an indication of what the game was. Had a great time with the demo, and I cannot wait for the full release. Yeah, just going to throw that in there.
You
We've been
tease.
told we can throw it in there.
You tease.
Yeah. Maybe we might do a video. I might do a video of the spider chapter.
That'd be funny, because we all know how much he hates spiders.
Well then, let's wrap things up there then. Thanks everyone for listening. If you have enjoyed this episode, we'd love it if you could tell your family and your friends all about us. And if you want to get more involved, please do not hesitate to jump into our Discord and say hello. I've been your host, Laurie. These two have been Alex and Reece, and we will see you again next time. Until then, it's goodbye.